What's all this business then? It all seems a bit intense.
You'll find out
in
due course, Mr. Croft.
Look, I know this is about some girl. If you just show me a picture of her, I'm sure I'll be able to say that I do not know her and we can put this silly little business to rest.
Let me just take a bit of time to catch you up on what we have found out in our inquiries so far. A woman named Eva Smith lost her job with Birling and Company because the strike failed and they were determined not to have another one. At last she found another job, under what name, I don't know, in a big shop and had to leave there because Miss Birling was annoyed at herself and passed the annoyance on to her. Now she had to try something else, so first she changed her name to Daisy Renton.
What?
I said she changed her name to Daisy Renton. That rings a bell for you, doesn't it, Mr. Croft?
Where did she get the idea that I knew her?
As soon as I mentioned the name Daisy Renton, it was obvious you'd known her. You gave yourself away at once. And anyhow, I knew already. When and where did you first meet her?
All right, if you must have it. We met first sometime in March last year at the Stalls Bar at the Palace. I mean, the Palace Music Hall here in Bromley. I happened to look in one night after a long, dull day, and as the show wasn't so very bright, I went down to the bar for a drink. It's a favourite haunt of the women of the town.
What happened?
I didn't propose to stay there long. I hate all those hard-eyed, dough-faced women. But then I noticed a girl who looked quite different. She was very pretty. Soft brown hair and big dark eyes. My God.
What's the matter?
Sorry, I've just suddenly realised, taken it in properly, that she's dead.
Yes, she's dead. Now go on.
She was young and fresh and charming and altogether out of place down there, and she obviously wasn't enjoying herself. She saw me looking and gave me a glance that was nothing less than a cry for help. So I went across and I told the man she was with some nonsense, that the manager had a message for him or something like that, and told her if she didn't want any more of that kind of nonsense, she better let me take her out of there. She agreed at once.
And where did you go?
We went along to the county hotel, which I knew would be quiet at that time of night. We had a drink or two and we talked.
Did she drink much at the time?
No, she had a port and lemonade or some such concoction. All she wanted was to talk. A little friendliness is all.
She talked about herself?
Yes, I asked her questions about herself. She told me her name was Daisy Renton, that she'd lost both her parents, and that she came originally from somewhere outside Bromley. She told me that she had a job at one of the works here and had to leave after a strike. And she said about the shop, too. She wouldn't say which one and was deliberately vague about what happened. I couldn't get any exact details from her about herself, just because she felt I was interested and friendly. But at the same time, she'd wanted to be Daisy Renton, not Ava Smith. In fact, I heard that name for the first time tonight. And one thing she did let slip, though she didn't mean to, was that she was desperately hard up and at that moment actually hungry. So I made the people at the county find some food for her.
And then you decided to keep her as your mistress.
I discovered, not that night but 2 nights later when we met again, not accidentally this time of course, that she hadn't a penny and was about to be turned out of the miserable back room she had. It happened that a friend of mine, Charlie Brunswick, had gone off to Canada for 6 months and had given me the keys to a nice little set of rooms he had in Morgan Terrace for me to keep an eye on for him and use if I wanted. So I insisted on Daisy moving into those rooms and gave her a bit of money to keep her going. I want you to understand that I did not install her there so I could make love to her. I made her move into Morgan Terrace because I felt sorry for her and didn't like the idea of her going back to the past bar. I didn't ask for anything in return.
I see. But did she become your mistress?
Yes, I suppose it was inevitable. She was young and pretty and warm-hearted and intensely grateful. I became at once the most important person in her life. You understand?
Yes, she was a woman. She was lonely. Were you in love with her?
It's hard to say. I didn't feel about her the same way that she felt about me, but at the same time I did enjoy it for some time. Nearly any man would have done.
When did this affair end?
I can tell you exactly. It's the first week of September. I had to leave then on business several weeks, and Daisy knew it was coming to an end, so I broke it off before I went.
How did she take it?
Better than I'd hoped. She was very gallant about it.
Is that really how she felt?
She told me that she was happier than she'd ever been. But at the same time, she knew it couldn't last, hadn't expected it to last. She didn't blame me at all. Wish to God that she had. Perhaps feel better about it now.
She had to move out of those rooms.
Yes, we'd agreed on that. She'd saved a little money during summer. She lived very economically on what I'd allowed her and didn't want to take any more from me. But at the same time, I insisted on a parting gift of some money, though it wasn't so very much, to keep her going to the end of the year.
Did she tell you what she proposed to do after you'd left her?
No, she refused to talk about that. I got the idea once or twice from what she said that she thought of leaving Bromley. Whether she did or not, I don't know. Did she?
Yes, she went away for about 2 months to some seaside place.
By herself?
Yes. I think she went away. To be alone, to be quiet, to remember all that had happened between you.
How did you know that?
She kept a rough sort of diary, and she said there that she had to go away and be quiet, and remember just to make it last longer. She felt that there'd never be anything as good again for her, so she had to make it last longer.
I see. Well, I never saw her again and have nothing left to tell you.
That's all I want to know from you.
Well, in that case, as I am rather more upset by all this than I probably appear, and, well, I'd like some time to be alone for a while. I'd like it if you'd let me go.
Go where? Home?
No, go out, walk about for a while. If you don't mind, I'll come back.
Very well, Mr. Croft. Goodbye.